Good afternoon. Earlier, I went in there and I took a bath because I needed to be fresh and feel nice. A nice bath in the water in that big ass tub, which is still a little bit nasty because it's got like stains and we had to put some sort of sealer in it to fix the cracks because it had a crack in it or something. I don't remember exactly. It'd been so long ago. And that stuff makes floaties. I don't like floaties in my bathtub. I'm just saying, if I'm taking a bath, I don't want floaty shit in there. It's nasty. Feels nasty. Is nasty. So I got in there. I made this video. And I was telling you about these two dreams that I had earlier this morning. Now, the second dream is profound and right in line with all the shit that I've been talking about. So after stopping screen recording, I suddenly became very aware that sometimes, not always, but sometimes after processing, because it takes a minute, the longer the video is, it says in the notifications, processing, then it appears it's done. You can do what you're going to do with it after that. Okay. Nothing. It's gone. Just made it, and it's gone. So I'm pretty pissed. Now, first the phone was glitching, and I couldn't press the buttons. I couldn't get the... It was glitchy. It wasn't working. I'm like, this is fucked up. So I can't even get to look if there's a video in that space or if it's the last one I made. So how does that tie into why you're even talking about it? The phone's got some weird shit going on. You know, that's number one. Is pretty weird because that wasn't something that normally would happen. But this time, and I felt immediately that this was going to happen when it was going on. And I'm not sure because I don't know why it is. And I have a few other things with my phone that pan out like that, like the battery doing what it does when it does it. I pretty much know the circumstances that lead up to that. Don't get me lying about what it is. I have no idea exactly what is wrong with it. What is it doing? So, all right, the first stream, I'm listening to Dan Winter, and I fall asleep. And I'm in this giant factory. They have bay doors that are open. They let the sunlight in. And it's dark and shaded inside, but not incredibly bright. Not like, bright light with the fluorescent lights and all. That's what it looks like. Set up for something. I don't really know. It looked industrial. I think because I saw the Tesla place and Tesla's little office where he had his room and he was describing that he could watch the end of the line. So anything on the production line coming out, he'd be able to, check it out and see when it popped out. So it was similar to that, but it was also similar to where a place I used to work inside. And another friend of mine was talking about because we're both interested in metalworking and stuff like that. He's doing work, and we both worked in a shop at the same, so we were both pretty good at our jobs, and worked at the same place for a period of time. Like a different couple times we worked at the same place. It's my buddy Rusty. Rusty's like a wizard. He's like, and we have an agreement to have three of us. One of us is gone. But I got a message from the spirit a long time ago, and it told me to come to them, and that we would all be doorways to the top three spheres, and that we would pick and dedicate ourselves to each one. And we did that. So now we're on the other side of that period of our life, and we both sort of recognized it as being on the other side of that period of life where we had wrote stories and then we had seen it happen in the world, had a sort of common phenomenon in that, and we agreed to continue to talk. I have been, whenever I was in the midst of some of my shit, uh, that static, he didn't want that static in his life. He was starting his family, and so he withdrew, and I understand that. But now the time to withdraw is over, and the time to be friends and continue what was started remains. We're going to do that because we're going to continue to talk from time to time, just touch base, and that way, it's the right way. It's the way people should go, at least as far as I'm concerned. Now, in this dream, as I said, I'm listening to Dan Winter, talk about plasma and going through death experience. There's a little office inside, like in the one that we worked at. There was the foreman had a shop that was set up higher and windows all around it. He could sit up there and do his work and look out on the floor and see all the workers and the different stuff in their jobs, doing what they're doing, and you know, it had something like that. And I went up in there, and there was a guy, I guess, had hung himself from the rafter like a belt. A belt's wrapped around the rafter, and he's hung himself dead. And I had to go and get it and shuck him on my shoulder. I never saw the body, but I could feel the weight of the body. And then I had to go down the stairs, and a bunch of people were like watching. It was weird. And that ended the dream. Now, the next dream I had, it was a couple hours later, was like being on the outside of that factory. I could see it in the distance, but it was by the ship channel in Houston, big ass building, and then the highway. It was 225, and then some other highway that comes through. I think 146 or something, but all different. Just the two highways were somewhat the same. And I was at a little hotel, a $15 a night roomed hotel, very cheap. On one side of the freeway, it's a room. The other side of the freeway is a room. This is open to interpretation because anyone that can see anything else in this, I will accept it in the comments, and I'd like to hear what it is. Now, on the one side of the highway is my ex-wife, my younger son's with her, and two chicks that look like they're her family, and I kind of recognize their face, but I don't know who they are. I just know that they're her friends, and they're all watching me. Eyeball fucking me, even. Now, I run across the street, narrowly missing a car, hitting me. Go across the street, take a shower, go into the room, and in the room, it's like a little room, and there's a cubby hole where there's a guy's legs sleeping. I look and see his legs and check if somebody's in there, and they are, which is weird. And then I take a shower, and I come back across. When I come back across, I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm not doing this with you no more. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. Now, I believe that's the closure coming from having that person realize from their own mouth that they're doing something else, and what they've been doing, they've basically just left me wondering for years how they were, if they were okay. Not a damn word. And that bothers me and pisses me off, and it's really fucked up too, I think. Because there's no reason to do somebody like that. I did my dad like that too. So coming in, coming for one day and acting like you give a shit about him, and then not doing any follow through, like even to communicate, even if it was hard for you to do it. I think it's chicken shit, bullshit. Actually, again, I can't get behind it. I can't, just can't. And my son, who's the younger son, I was about to just leave, but I've embraced him and gave him a hug. He immediately turns into my older son, and I could feel him hugging this person, crying, and it wakes me up. But I gave him that cry, and it felt so good, because that's the one I'm trying to connect. Doesn't want to have nothing to do, whatever. Now that doesn't make much sense to me. A little bit it does to some degree because I understand being a young male, how fucking headstrong and asinine a young male can be because they know everything, and we're all just stupid old people. So I had that experience and it felt really good because I've been talking about stuff like this where you need to heal and go through the traumas. But I would not be able to set up a dream like that for that to happen like that. But it was good for me. It felt so good. It was really good. And then once I recorded and walked through it like I did the first time, it didn't even record it. I'm like, well, that's fucked up, that fucking amazing story. I could just not share it, but it needs to be shared. That was a fucking badass experience, albeit a dream. It was necessary, and even a dream like that can be healing to you if you have some damage of your emotions and your shit. So I thought I'd share that, and I tried, and then I got I got some kickback or whatever you want to call it from the Matrix because it ate my video. It was gone. There's nothing even there. So that's usually a sign of a message that might be strong. Usually, when I get a strong message and I come out and I pour it out of me by making a video, it's pouring it out of me. You know, something powerful, and it was gone. So it's like there's some sort of mechanism in the reality that tries to hinder that. It does seem to want you in pain and to suffer, probably because it feeds off of it. I'm not entirely sure. But by making this again, I'm saying fuck you to that and putting it out there because I don't have no respect for nothing like that. I don't. I'm not gonna bow the knee and I'm not gonna give respect to something demonic or whatever it could be. I don't know. It ain't right. So that's part of the weird phenomenon that happens that affects my devices. So that's it. Please tell me if you like that. Have a nice day.